book is called Scottsboro, and it's a fictionalized account of a real case that began in 1931 and dragged on until 1976, so it consumed half the 20th century in America. And I wrote it as fiction because I'm interested in large public events, but in personal terms, how they affect people and how people can affect them. And all the characters in it are actual characters except one journalist who is a composite of two women journalists who did cover the case in 1931 and the following years. And this is a scene where the story of the Scottsboro case, I should say, is 9 young black men were arrested for raping 2 women. No rape ever occurred, but they were sentenced to the electric chair again and again. And in this scene, the journalist goes to interview the mother of one of the 9 young black men. She told me about sharecropping in Georgia, moving from farm to farm in Warm Springs and Molina and Neal. The white man gave them a house and so many acres of land to grow crops, mostly cotton. At the end of the year, the white man sold the crops and took out what he said they owed for seed and fertilizer and everything else he recollected giving them. Somehow there was never much left. Life was hard, but she still found cause to give thanks to the Lord. It did not seem fair to the Lord to recollect only the misery. But sometimes she just could not help herself from studying the misery, like the day each of her children put on the white sack. I asked what the white sack was. I could not be sure, but it seemed to me her unhappy mouth turned up at the corners for a moment, and she shook her head back and forth at the wonder of it. A grown woman who had lived as long as I had and did not know what the white sack was. Now that was being saved right here on earth. The white sack, she explained, was the bag you put the cotton in when you went up and down the rows picking. One by one, her young ones put it on at 5 or 6, or a little younger for the big boys. Willie, Clarence, Lucille, Blanche, Inez, Port, Ina, May, Ida Bell, and Ebenezer slipped it around their necks like a noose. When the young ones started out with the white sack at dawn, it did not drag them down too much, and all they had to worry about was tripping over it, because it was 3 or 4 times as long as the littlest ones. But as the sun climbed higher over the fields and the air began to boil and their small hands bled from picking, the sack filled up. A body would not think something light as cotton could weigh so heavy. More than once the littlest ones stumbled and fell.